and welcome back, everyone. It's finally the start of the Dragon Ball Z What If. So I gave 3 suggestions. We'll get through obviously all 3 of them. But the one you guys wanted the most currently was, what if Goku was found and adopted by the Ox King? From Phantom Wolf, Eric, Josh Center, and Yaju World. Okie dokie. So, I mean, the crux of this what if would be very simple. He doesn't land near Gohan, he lands near the Ox King. By the way, what is the Ox King's actual name? Do we have an actual name on the Ox King? Hold on, Ox King. Does he have an actual? Because we know it's Chi-Chi, that's his daughter. The King of the Fire Mountain, as well as the father-in-law of maternal Goku and great-grandfather, blah 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 blah. I think his title is literally just Ox King, if I'm not mistaken. Appearance, like, does he have an actual name? I never once contemplated this question, but I don't think he has an actual name. One sec, I'm double checking right now just to be 100% completely sure here. But yeah, I think Ox King is his title. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. He also has the title of Emperor of Demons? Where the hell did he get that one from? There's Guyo Mao, but that's just Ox King in a different language. Demon. Yeah, no, Ox King is his name. Okay, whatever. Okay, but anyway, yeah, he lands near Fire Mountain, or even on Fire Mountain. Now, obviously, Ox King sees this, goes to check out. What's going on here? There's a baby in here. Oh no! It's hold on, little guy. Well, aren't you interesting? Hey, now, easy. Just whoop, hits his head. Goku would still hit his head here. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that would still happen. And so it's like, well, then maybe Gohan, because remember, Gohan was also a student of Roshi. I believe these guys knew each other. And so he just probably else gives him the name Goku. I don't see there's any reason to change the name either. I mean, realistically, it's very possible he could, but for sake of simplicity, we'll just say no, he doesn't. And so it's like, Goku is roughly around Chi-Chi's age. I actually don't take all the dying, coming back shenanigans and time chamber shenanigans out of the equation. Were they supposed to be the exact same age, or were they like a year or two apart? I don't remember completely, but I think they're roughly the same age, if not like a year apart, whatever. So it's like, hey, Chi-Chi, this is going to be your new brother. His name is going to be Goku. You like that, Chi-Chi? You do. Now, I believe it's stated Chi-Chi's mom simply passed away. I believe that's the basis on that issue. But over the years, Goku would train under the Ox King. Now, what would happen to Goku in this scenario? First of all, go on to give him only a brief formal education. I do think that the Ox King gives him a little bit more of a formal education. I'm not saying he's a scholar, but he certainly has a little bit more understanding of, say, like basic, formulas, mathematics, all that, as well as more of a knowledge of the outside world. As far as we know, Chi-Chi and Ox King were no strangers to going out in the world, so there's no reason to believe Goku would be unaware of the world either. Also, wardrobe. I was tempted to give him some sort of outfit similar to what he's wearing here. We also saw what Chi-Chi was wearing too. It really is kind of ridiculous, to be honest. But I'm sure Goku's not wearing this. But there's no thing to say he wouldn't wear the standard blue gi we find him in too. Maybe he's also wearing a cape. You know what? I think we should give him the cape. To be honest, we should give him a cape to go with that. Maybe like a red cape like that to go with his blue. He looks a little bit like Akira, to be honest. But now this raises the big final question. How strong is Goku at this point? Because Goku, we know what ultimately ended up happening was he accidentally killed Gohan by turning into a Great Ape seeing the full moon. He would not kill the Ox King. So every time you look up the Ox King's power, even official books put his power level at 900. That's ridiculous. This, and I'm gonna go off a little bit on this, not too long, like what are we at right now? 5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes at most. But this is really freaking important for this what if, because every official power level I can find or close to it puts him at 900. That means he's over 3 times, almost 4 times stronger than King Piccolo. He should be able to whoop his ass. They should have just called in the Ox King, but they didn't. So. And I mean, and the Ox King never tried to go after. I'm sorry, Piccolo never tried to go after the Ox King when they were killing martial artists off. So, first off, he maybe didn't even know about him, which starting to lean into my theory here. So, what gives here? It's also theorized he's gotten weaker in age, which would make sense. He went in the more peaceful route, being a grandfather and all that. Okay, so what gives with this? Here's my ultimate theory about the Ox King, and I think there's enough to back it up here. His power level, and it would be, I mean, he doesn't have necessarily like the key aura, but if you were to raise like how much energy he has to use at his disposal, it's around 900 physically. And that's the key here. Physically, he's got a power, all that power is kind of just in his physical body. He can't, we've never seen him, and it seems to be that he can't fly, and he can't even utilize his ki. That's basically what it comes down to. All of his, even though he has allegedly a power of 900, he can't actually use it in the same way as a Z fighter could. He's also so big and lumbery, he doesn't really have true super speed. He's probably faster than he looks, but he doesn't have super speed on the level of any of the Z fighters. Like if you threw him in the tournament, martial arts tournament, he could easily just tank any hit nearly any hit that came his way, but he wouldn't be able to chase after someone. Like he wouldn't be able to do all those fighting moves that you see there. If he just boom, boom, he'd just be a tank, and even Roshi would still be able to beat him because we know Roshi's power supersedes his. So I think that's really what it comes down to, is that the Ox King just can't teach Goku anything about ki. However, the Ox King is a brick shithouse by Dragon Ball standards. So and while we know Chi-Chi was strong for her age, she certainly wasn't anything amazing. Most likely, he didn't spend a lot of time training Chi-Chi, apart from some self-defense stuff. She had a laser built into her helmet. Whereas Goku, again, I'm not trying to sound sexist, but it might be his mentality. He pushes Goku more to learn martial arts, to learn fighting. Now, unfortunately, genetically, Goku isn't built like the Ox King. He's a Saiyan in Italy, so he still is much more physically stronger than the Ox King. But he's not going to turn Goku into a version of himself per se. But what he can do is condition Goku more effectively. Really get that physical training going on. Use his body, and Goku really trains hard. This, I think, over the years, would really form Goku into a much stronger individual. Where does his power level lie? Well, going back real quick, as I said before, Gohan was killed when Goku transformed into Ozaru. However, his power level, if I remember correctly, was like 20 or something like, or it was not a lot. It wasn't even 100, because we know by the time we meet Goku, his power level is a 10. But apparently his power level is only calculated like a 2 when we first meet him. It's really more that the Ozaru's size took Gohan by surprise and just crushed him. Ox King, though, probably was like, what? How did he do that? And it's like, and just stops him, just holds up, probably holds him up one end and says, Goku, you need to calm down. Goku, it's me. It's Dad. I'm sounding a little bit more like Macho Man, but I do get a Macho Man vibe off of the Ox King. Oh yeah, Goku! You need to calm down, son, or else you're gonna find why I'm the cream of the crop. I'm gonna lay down the smackdown on you for every letter of the alphabet until we get to the first letter of my true love's name. That'd be the lovely Elizabeth, by the way. I can really get a Macho Man vibe off of him. Anyway. So eventually he does calm Goku down, knock him out. But unlike, I'll say Goku and, well, to be fair, the Ozaru only showed up briefly and Dragon Ball Z, and they got rid of Gohan's tail when it happened. So there was no reason to actually tell him about it. Also, Goku killed Gohan. There was no reason to tell him about it. The one thing, though, that was let's be honest, not good friending was when Goku did it against Pilaf, and they didn't tell him about it. So yeah, that wasn't good friending on their part. They needed to tell him about that so it wouldn't happen again. Which admittedly it did not, as far as it only happened one other time with Roshi. But that was it. So here I do think Ox King would be smart enough to tell him, Goku, do you remember what happened? I don't really remember what happened. And he explains, it's like, what? I turned into a giant monkey? What? It's like, you looked at the moon and you looked at the full moon and you went still and silent. I don't know what happened, son. It's like, what? The moon's like, we don't need that happening again. I'm fine. Your sister's fine. Don't worry about it. But we need to be careful about that. Your power increased by magnitudes 10 times if I had to guess. So we need to be careful about that. Well, okay, Dad, I promise. I won't ever look at the moon again. Well, and you noticed they ought to be that drastic about it. It seems it might have been because the moon was full. You've seen you look at the moon plenty of times and it hasn't been a problem. Okay, no, I promise I won't look at the moon when it's full. It's like, all right. Still, it was an immense power. We might have to learn to try to control it at some point. And I could totally see Gohan, because right now the Ox King could handle Goku. I could totally see them practicing with it. When a full moon happens, Goku transforms again. This time, though, the Ox King tries to just calm him down. Goku, it's me! And then Chi-Chi, Goku, it's me! Big brother! Or little brother, whatever. So, just sees her. And eventually gets to the point where he can recognize them. And he can't talk, but he can actually now kind of target. He's like a Hulk, essentially. He can target it if he needed to. Which is good, because training under the Ox King and just physical training, given how much of a tank the Ox King is in Dragon Ball, that would easily have to put Goku at minimum at 100 power level. Easy. Mind you, he's not training in Ki or true martial arts. Like, he's definitely taking the martial arts lessons the Ox King has picked up from Roshi under his belt, but he's not training him into true turtle style because, let's be honest, the Ox King doesn't really fight in the turtle style. He doesn't fight like Goku does, or Krillin does, or Roshi does, or Gohan does. Grandpa Gohan, not Kid Gohan. And so they would be spending a lot of time. Now, unfortunately, they would be dealing with Fire Mountain and just the problems with that. Cut to them one day, they're coming across Bulma, Oolong, and Grandpa Gohan. And obviously, we know Yamcha's following them too. But unfortunately, that doesn't really go in his favor, as he's still scared shitless of women. But the reason for that is I always am under the idea that Grandpa Gohan would agree to join Bulma in her travels if she so if he so is inclined to. Which, he's got nothing going on, and adventure would be fun, good stories to tell. Along the way, they'd meet Oolong, and they'd end up meeting Turtle. It's like, Turtle, it's you. It's like, Gohan, oh, it's good to see you. Good to see you too. Good to see you too, my old friend. I was like, wait, you know this Turtle? Oh, yes. He's a friend of my old master, Master Roshi. How'd you get all the way out here, though, Turtle? It was a big problem. I got lost, and there was a storm. But could you guys give me a hand? Well, certainly. I wouldn't be any problem at all. Come on. Bulma, do you have the motorcycle available? Say, oh yeah, sure. And so they take Turtle and end up getting Dragon Ball from Roshi. Then they meet Boss Carrot. I do think Gohan just easily takes care of Boss Carrot, no problem. And then they meet and then there's a little bit of a problem with Goku showing us like, yeah, who are you? What are you doing in our home? He's like, whoa, wait. Look, my name is Gohan. It's like, good. I don't care. I don't care who you are. You're trespassing. It's like, wait, no, let's talk about this. And so Goku fights out with Gohan, who would actually still be stronger than Goku here, if I'm not mistaken, because him and Goku were relatively on par with each other, though Goku was clearly more edging out Gohan when they fought in the Baba tournament. But eventually he's like, Goku, that's enough. And I was like, huh? But Dad, like, no, Gohan's not our enemy. Hello, old friend. Oh, Ox King, it's you. Oh, so that's, of course, we're at Fire Mountain. That's right. I was like, wait, Dad, yes. Goku, you should know better than to attack our students like that, or guests like that. Just because someone's an intruder. But you told me. I know what I said, but because that's kind of what he actually did. He showed up. It's like, what are you doing here? Goku tried to punch him, and just it did nothing. It did not even. He didn't register. Just like, huh? This is my old unstoppable master. And so, actually, Gohan might be the one to kind of to put out Fire Mountain here. He does know the Kamehameha. Would his Kamehameha be strong enough to put out Fire Mountain? I guess is the question. We know Roshi's was a little too strong, but maybe. So it's good. But even still, let's just say maybe he tries and it briefly does it, but it starts to burn up against it. It's just not enough. It's like, well, what if we get what if you bring Master Roshi here? I suppose it's possible. And Gohan, I don't. There's the whole implication that the old men in Dragon Ball are just perverts, and maybe Gohan was, but we have no evidence of that. It's possible he could use Nimbus. He was a good guy as for what we know. But either way, it's still quite a journey, and so Roshi, they're still to bring in Roshi. All right, stand back, me, ha me, ha. And I think Goku still tries it out. Huh? It'll take you 50 years to learn the Kamehameha. Oh man. I was like, well, sorry about that. It's okay. I guess we'll just have to clean up. But what about you? It's good to see you again. Good to see you too. You haven't been keeping up with your studies, I see, though. Otherwise, you should have been able to put this fire out yourself. Who are these? This must be your lovely daughter, and I didn't know you had a son. Goku. I adopted Goku when I found him lost on the mountain. He's a good kid, and to say the least. I said, oh, hello, sir. I said, hello, boy. I can then, a lot of potential in this one. I don't know how to repay you. I'll tell you what. Maybe not right now, but soon. Why don't you set Goku down my way? I think there's more I could do with this boy. I sound a little bit like a Kentucky Fried Sander right now. Roshi's just Colonel Sanders right now. You bring him my way, and I could maybe do something. I was like, what? Really? You're offering to take Goku as a pupil? It's been some time, and I can see a lot of potential in this boy. It's like, Goku, what do you think, Goku? Would you love to train with Master Roshi? Yeah, I can't wait to be a turtle student. Hey, if you got the spunk, I'll give you that. Of course, it's not anytime soon. Take your time. And so, it's like, awesome, but for now, Chi-Chi, Goku, you need to help me clean up this place. It's like, aww. And so, there's that. Now, I do believe Gohan is able, with a Kamehameha, should be able to get out of the peel-off cell. Goku, don't attack the wall with Kamehameha. Attack the damn glass. Even if it doesn't work, it's the smarter option. So, they stop peel-off from taking over the world. Eventually, I think the time comes where Ox King says, Goku, I think it's time. Go to Master Roshi. Become his student like I once was, and you'll surpass me in no time. It's like, you sure did? It's like, okay, Chi-Chi. It's like, I promise I'll get strong, Chi-Chi. It's like, I promise. It's like, I look forward to it. I can't wait to fight you when we get older in the World Martial Arts Tournament. Oh, that'd be great. And so Goku goes, meets Krillin. They do their training, obviously, and just to test it out, they just see how far they've come. Goku and Krillin and obviously Roshi in disguise go to the World Martial Arts Tournament. Ox King and Chi-Chi watching from the spectator stands like, let's see how much your brother's improved. And it's like, yeah. And so where would Goku be? If I had his power at 100 here, where would it be after Roshi's training? Because he went from like a 10 to, mind us the fact that we have to now consider Zenkai a thing. Mind you, his Zenkai was probably like a 12 at best. Even then, he maybe didn't get his Zenkai now I think about it. Honestly, that was probably where part of the training came in, boosting them up as fast as it did. Let's see if he got a 10 times multiplier there. I don't see it here, first off. I don't actually realistically see any way he could get a 10 times multiplier from Roshi's training to go 100 from 1,000 to 1,000. However, putting him, say, a little shy of his Tien Shinhan fight power level around 180, like say put him out like 170, I think that's very realistic to put him at, which actually would put him above Roshi here. So they would go through all their fights, leading to Goku's fight with Roshi. And Roshi is immediately noting he is fast. Like, holy crap, he's not like his dad. No. And he's also physically strong. Like, seriously, even by Goku standards at this point, he is hitting like a truck. It's like, well, he is the Ox King's son. I can't be too surprised about that. It's like, so Roshi is actually really on the back foot here. The other thing that's really key is that Goku knows, like, glanced at one point at the full moon, but knows not to stare at it. Now that his dad has told him what the full moon does, he makes sure to avoid it. Like, he actually keeps like a calendar with him to avoid the issues like this. So him and Roshi are both duking it out, like, as hard as they can. And now this could be like the Tien fight with Roshi, where Roshi finally acknowledges he's been surpassed and is a new era has dawned, and eventually the old will be surpassed by the young. But his whole goal in that entering the first time around was to make sure that Goku and Krillin still had like a goal to surpass. So I do think he's going to put a lot more effort into this fight. And the difference, I think, is very key here. Instead of using all that power to do the Kamehameha, he uses it to actually fight Goku. Because we know in Super, Roshi can fight in that form. He doesn't do it very often because it's taxing on his older body. But he can still fight in that form. So when he's starting to really lose against Goku, he's like, you've asked for this, boy! Like, just starts wailing into Goku. Just boom, 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 boom. And this goes on for maybe a minute straight before Roshi finally has to... At my age, I can't do that for much too long at a time. And now Goku is now on the back. Just like, they're both standing up. One final... you're still standing, I see, Goku. The Ox King really taught you well, didn't he? It's like, how'd you know my dad was the Ox King? It's obvious. It's obvious that strength, unnatural, even by martial artist standards. Only someone as powerful as the Ox King could have taught you that. Plus, he's standing right there, so I can put two and two together. Now, by the way, do I think the Ox King is smart enough to figure out that this is Roshi, just like Yamcha kind of did? Yeah, I think he is. Why is Master Roshi going? I see. That's what he's doing. He's making sure Goku still has a mountain to climb, a goal to reach. Even after all these time, I'm still learning things from you, old master, my master. Perhaps this time I get back to my training as well, because even he's like, Goku's still young. I still need to be there to teach him. And so. Now, mind you, even if he does get stronger, it won't be for long. Like, he retired very, very quickly in the series. He's not going to be a Z fighter or anything like that, which actually sucks, because if he were, say, I don't know, 10 years younger than he is, and still had that level of power and trained to be a Z fighter, in the early stages, he could have been a game changer Z fighter. Like, you're talking about a guy who easily could have had a power level 2000 or so base form and beaten Raditz to a pulp. But as it stands, no, I don't think that's happening in this version. But he's still gets stronger temporarily. Meanwhile, him and Goku say, do the final charge. Yeah! Get up and say, I am the champion. I am the champion. I'm the champion. So, Roshi still wins. As he explains, too, my legs are longer so I could dig my kick in deeper. And so they go to celebrate. Goku uses up all the prize money for food. And therein lies the end of the first part of the What If. It's a fun What If, to say the least. We get a much stronger physical Goku here, which I do think translates at least to some degree to his power level, which will translate farther down the line for the rest of the series. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you folks for the next one. Later.